I am afraid of running mad because of the oath I took so many years ago to remain faithful to my husband even after he's dead and gone. I am only 28 years old now, and I must say, although I am very beautiful and I have a lot of money and live an affluent life, I am so sad and I live in so much fear, and I'm always watching over my shoulders and praying that I don't wake up one day only to realize that I have completely gone mad or running the streets or been confined in a psychiatric hospital. There is a young popular Nigerian actress who got married to a very wealthy polygamous man from Nigeria, and to the world out there, she seemed to have it all. But I can tell you for free that if that young lady could rewrite a story, she might choose a different man than what she has now. The first time that I heard about her marriage to this billionaire, all I did was to shake my head and said a little prayer for her. I follow her on most of her social media pages and I see her beautiful and affluent lifestyle. And anytime that she posted a video, I see how women from all walks of life imagine being in a position and living that kind of beautiful and affluent life that she lives now. But I don't ever envy her one bit, because I can tell you for free that she might have all the wealth, expensive travels, the cars, and all the beautiful things that money can ever afford or can buy. But deep down, if she had her own way, she might love to choose a different path, because I currently live the same life as her, and I'm very, very, very sad. Now, let me tell you how I got myself into this mess. I was only 19 years old when my father told me that he got me a husband. Where I come from, we do not challenge our parents, especially our fathers. I was just done with my senior high school at the time, and I had some form of education, so I knew what it meant to be married off to a man who is 4 times my age with no love or no affection. So when my father told me about my marriage to this 63 years old very wealthy man, I knew deep down that I didn't want to do it. My father always knew how stubborn I could be about my position on things that I do not agree on, so instead of him being aggressive and literally forcing me to marry this man, surprisingly, he was very calm. He sat me down and gave me a very tall list of all the benefits that I might get from marrying this wealthy man. He told me about traveling the world in private jets, having so many mates at my beck and call, and I did not have to work for anybody like most girls my age who go about looking for a job after completing school, because my husband can open any business for me anywhere in the world, and I can live the proper baby girl life. Then, as if that wasn't enough, my mother also came to add more to the story by luring me into marrying this man by using emotions. She told me about the benefits that the entire family will get from marrying this man if I finally agreed to be his wife. Well, like I said earlier, this man is almost 4 times older than me. Then I asked my mother, but we are not starving to death, so why this? And her answer was that she was doing it for me so that I can have a much better life than she had. She said it was for my own good. Well, I simply do not want to be married to an old man like that. I have always dreamt of finishing university and marrying the love of my life and having kids together and living a modest and a beautiful life. Well, because I didn't want to be married off to this old man, I ran away from home to stay with one of my friends and her family in another town. And so for so many months, my family didn't know where I was. Unfortunately, I woke up one day only to see a lot of policemen in my friend's house, and that was how my journey of being a millionaire's wife at 19 years began. The moment the police came for me, I was sent straight to my husband's village where so many rites were performed. Some weird incantations were chanted, and some old women who had white cloth wrapped around their bodies gave me a good bath. Then they shaved my hair, shaved my armpits, then they shaved my private part, and they told me that it was all part of the rites or the journey to my husband's house. In fact, I cried so much that there was no tears left in my eyes again. I was angry, bitter, and I felt helpless because my parents, who were supposed to protect me and save me from these barbaric acts, were the very people who were championing the cause. Later on, other rites were performed which I cannot even write here, and those old women then led me into a small room that had only one large bed in the middle of the room and left me there. A few minutes later, a man walked into the room and introduced himself as my husband and politely told me that we're now married under the customs and the tradition of our culture, so we had to consummate the marriage. What? Just like that, and that was the first time that I was seeing this man. At this point, I knew fighting back would be pointless, so all I did was to cry and cry and cry some more while this man removed the white piece of cloth that was wrapped up around my body by those old women, and he had intimacy with me. I didn't struggle with him because I knew it would be pointless and it will amount to nothing at this point. After he was done, I realized that the white bedsheet that was spread on the bed was stained with blood, and I knew that I had lost my virginity forever. When he was done, he didn't say a word. He just walked out of the room while I sat at the edge of the bed, angry and had so much tears in my eyes. The old women came back again, and they led me into a bathhouse, but this time around, they allowed me to have my own bath. After that, I was given new clothes to wear, and I was led to another room where I was taken through more rituals. At this point, an old man gave me a sword and poured 7 cowries into my right hand and asked me to say certain words after him. Well, reluctantly, I said those words, and after that, the old woman came for me again. This time around, they gave me food to eat, and they told me that the rite that I had gone through were all significant and very special, and I shouldn't take them for granted. Otherwise, they will have the consequences on me later on. They went on to tell me that if at any point in my life I intentionally or unintentionally slept with another man apart from my husband, I will run mad, and no medicine can cure this madness. I said absolutely nothing while they lectured me about all the rites and rituals, customs and traditions that were performed on me, and even gave me some education on how to make my husband happy in bed. After all of that was done, my mother and my father came for me and were driven back to the city. In fact, that was the first time that I sat in a 4-wheel drive which was being chauffeured by a driver in uniform. So right from the village to the city, which I will later call my home, there was a whole convoy accompanying our vehicle from the village to the city, and all other vehicles using the road had to make way for us to pass because we were being escorted by the police. All I said was, wow. For the first time, I felt like a princess or the daughter of a president. We later got to my husband's house, and it was a very huge house. I meant very big. I only saw such houses in Nigerian or Hollywood movies, but here I was in this gigantic mansion, which is now my new home. I was later introduced to the house helps and other workers in the house, and that was how my baby girl life started. From the beginning, I was very happy. I felt, well, this new life that I found myself in wasn't bad after all, as I had virtually everything that money could afford. Then, because I was my husband's last wife at the time, mind you, he had so many wives before me. But because I was the last wife at the time, he was traveling with me to almost everywhere in the world that you can imagine. Within a space of 2 years, I traveled to over 52 countries and I had the cars, clothes, perfumes, jewelries, and all the expensive things that every young lady would dream of having. The truth was that my husband pampered me with so much money, and my friends wished they could have the life that I had or enjoy the life that I was enjoying. But the truth was that I was deeply sad and unhappy. After 7 years in marriage with 3 children, I barely saw my husband. Sometimes for a whole 3 months, he will be away to either visit his other wives, or he will be away for business trips, or to be with his other women in other countries. Then I became even more lonely when my husband married another young lady and his attention had completely shifted to her. He was not traveling with her more, buying her all the expensive gifts, and she was the one enjoying the baby girl life at that point. So now it was just my children, me, and the money that I have. Every month, a huge amount of money was transferred into my account to buy anything that I wanted and to visit anywhere that I wanted to go in the world. So occasionally, I will go sightseeing with my children or I will travel the world with them. But I was terribly sad and I was not happy one bit. Whenever I post my traveling videos or photos on the internet, so many young ladies came to comment under the post expressing how they wish they had my life. All I did whenever I saw such comments was just to shake my head and smile in pain. A few times that I was lucky, my husband would come home and we'll meet as husband and wife twice in a month. Sometimes, for more than 3 or 4 months, I wouldn't meet him or see him or wouldn't meet at all as a couple. And whenever I'm ovulating and I have strong urge for intimacy, I feel really, really lonely and so sad. I must say he was a good father to his children because he will always make time or the effort to make videos, especially video calls with his children as often as he could wherever he was in the world. But my needs as a woman still in her prime was never met. To the world out there, I had it all, but deep down, I felt so sad and really lonely. Sometimes, all I wanted was someone to talk to and to gist with. My husband had established 2 restaurants for me. I also have a clothing line as well, a perfume line which is doing very well, and I have recently ventured into real estate. So financially, I am very, very comfortable. But here is the problem. My husband had a heart attack and he died 4 years ago, and he had since been buried. Like I said, I am just 28 years old now, and I'm very beautiful and financially okay. But though men make advances at me, I am terribly scared of giving them the chance because of the oath that I took so many years ago to remain faithful to my husband even after he's dead and gone. And I get scared that if I get involved with any man after my husband's death, it's either the man will go mad or I will run mad. I want to be free. I want to marry again and be with the man for companionship. I have so many of such men coming my way every night, and especially anytime that I travel out of our country. But I am so scared because of those rituals and rites that were performed during my marriage to my late husband. Recently, I met a man that I really liked and he wanted to settle down with me. But I am so afraid to commit to him or give him the chance because of those rituals. Because I am afraid he could run mad if I ever get intimate with him. Recently, I went back to my village under a disguise to ask more about how serious those rituals were, and I was told about how so many women who went mad because they got involved with other men either before or after their husbands died. I was actually shown one mad woman who still roamed the streets in the village because she remarried after her husband died. Well, what I cannot say for sure is whether she indeed got mad because of those rituals or because of something else that might have affected her mental health along the way in her life. People that I have talked to about the new man in my life said I should take a very bold step and move on with my life, especially now that my husband is dead. They say it's not as if he's still alive and I want to cheat on him. But other people who know how serious the culture and tradition of our village have also warned me not to try it because I shall surely go mad if I try it. What do I do now? Should I go ahead and take that bold step and throw caution to the wind, hoping that nothing happens? Or should I just forget about this noble and handsome man who wants to settle down with me? I want to move on with my love life, but I'm also terribly scared what might happen if I should take that bold step. What exactly should I do now? I am so confused. Wow, guys, this is indeed a very scary story. I think it's about time that some of these horrible and barbaric cultures and traditions that will not help us or that will not help society be eradicated for good. This is horrible to say the least. Guys, what advice do you have for this young lady? She is only 28 years old now, and this horrible culture and customs of her people will not allow her to have the happiness that she so much desired to have. Please leave your thoughts and your opinion in the comment section, and please do well to watch my other videos and kindly subscribe to the channel for more videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Yes, bye y'all.